count on you. You can count on me. Real talk. If you need some confidence, look at me. If you need some swag, look at me. Can I count on you, Leon? Yes, sir. Can I count on you, Free? Can I count on you, Edward? Win on three. Win on me. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the No Huddle. I'm Tolly Carr. With the exception of Fayetteville State and Elizabeth City State, we are back to a full slate of HBCU football. And the big dogs on the block are back as well, talking about North Carolina A&T, those Aggies. After a blistering 3-week schedule to open the season, they enjoyed an off week, well-deserved, but back at it on Saturday versus Morgan State. We begin our coverage there with Wally Pitt, who will let us know if we saw rest or rust from the Aggies.
BB&T Stadium in Greensboro, North Carolina is the backdrop for this instant HBCU Classic as the Aggies of North Carolina A&T in their 15-game winning streak hosted the Baltimore Bears of Morgan State, who have gone 1-13 in the same time span as Aggies 15 straight. And as our Tolly Carr said earlier this week, this was the trap game of all trap games. And it was just that, trap. Now go ahead and marinate on that for a second. This one was a very tough defensive game. A&T setting the tone early as they get the fumble on the punt return. The Bears with the immediate clapback as Lamar Renard underthrows an open Elijah Bell and Dante Small makes him pay with the interception. Then it's Mac, Daddy, Young Scrappy, Mac McCain with the nice scoop pick, and this time A&T cashes in on the turnover. A great play fake from Lamar Renard that had me and Morgan State's defense fooled. He finds Leroy Hill, who barrels into the end zone for 6. Aggies maybe a little cocky. They went for 2 and didn't convert. It's 6-0 Aggies in the second quarter. Next drive, Morgan State was like, nah, Mo. They used a balanced attack to get downfield, and quarterback DeAndre Harris dives into the end zone from 10 yards out. They complete the point after attempt and go up by 1, 6-7, and that was the score at halftime. And just like Morgan's football team, their band says when you got an opportunity, you got to jump on it, Apache. Now, I was all prepared to come up with a line about how Morgan State's band was keeping it close with A&T's band just like on the field, but no cap, this was one of the best Blue and Gold Marching Machine halftime shows I've ever seen. Let's go! Yes, sir, young fella, no doubt indeed. Back to the field, Morgan State adds a field goal to go up 10-6. Lamar Renard not playing his best game. He goes after the left side of the Morgan secondary and is almost picked off. He comes right back the next play and Morgan is ready for it again. This time Marquise Thorns gets the pick and the Aggies send Lamar Renard to the bench. He would not return for the rest of the game. A Markel Cartwright touchdown and another Morgan State field goal ties the game up at 13-all in the fourth, and we got ourselves a ball game. The Aggies on a long march down the field to try to win the game. Khalil Carter in at quarterback, but the Morgan secondary comes up with stop after stop after stop. I mean, my game ball goes to the entire Morgan State Bears secondary. They did a remarkable job. They forced A&T to try for the go-ahead field goal, and Noel Ruiz from 43 is wide right. Aggies miss a golden opportunity to take the lead, and this game is still tied late in the fourth quarter. Now, Morgan State has the rock and control of the clock. Deontay White catches this one for 13 yards to get them into field goal range. They take the clock all the way down to 2 seconds before attempting the possible game-winning, streak-ending field goal. The Morgan State Bears, arms locked together, counting on Alex Iceman Raya, and the snap, the hold, the kick, and the celebration. Morgan State shocks the HBCU football world by ending North Carolina A&T's 15-game winning streak in the doghouse, and after the game, Morgan State was ready to let everyone know that this was only a shock to people outside of their locker room in Baltimore.
I'm trying to tell him. That's just, hey, that's good. It's all confidence.
Ocho Cinco, what up? What up, Ocho Cinco, what up?
Baby, don't shock the world, man. We knew we gonna win, man. We knew we got a great team, man. We gonna win this game, man. We knew we were gonna win this game, man. Let's go, man.
It's a new day.
Ain't nobody surprised, man.
We're the best team in the league.
The streak is over.
The Circle City Classic got its swag back this year. Howard and Bethune-Cookman invade Naptown for a MEAC matchup that might, just might, knock someone out of the championship race. In a town known for speed, Howard and Bethune-Cookman were racing up and down the field. Howard jumped on the board first, with Bethune quickly responding. And by halftime, some explosive plays on both ends and 4 touchdowns apiece by both teams set up the Circle City Classic for an exciting second half finish. But one key figure would be missing for Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats starting middle linebacker Marquise Hendricks ejected for targeting on a punt return just before the half. In the third quarter, Howard took advantage of the missing starter when Josiah Crute ran untouched for a 31-yard score to retake the lead. It was part of 13 unanswered points in the third quarter by the Bison. But hold on, Bethune-Cookman would get back into the game late in the fourth quarter on this Akevius Williams touchdown to make it 41-35. Minutes later, the Wildcats were looking for some late-game magic and a potential go-ahead score, but a Ty Freeland interception by Howard makes it a wrap in Naptown. HU 41, Bethune-Cookman 35, an exciting finish at the Circle City Classic. Any conversation surrounding CIAA football begins with Amir Hall and Bowie State. The Bulldog Express rolling into Raleigh, North Carolina to take on a St. Augustine's team that is looking for the come-up.
Bowie State brought the crispy white-on-white Under Armour combo to Raleigh to take on St. Augs, and I'm not even going to stunt. I came to see the surgeon, a.k.a. the Black Tommy John, a.k.a. the Prince of PG County, my favorite college quarterback, Mr. Amir Hall, as he and the Bulldogs started conference play against the St. Augustine's Falcons. But this wasn't a walk in the park for the Dogs. The Falcons had the claws out and were prepared to protect their necks. Early in the first, Amir Hall scrubbing in and getting to work. He made some nice passes downfield before finding Brandon Abrams for a 15-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion was no good. It's 6-0 Bulldogs. St. Aug not scared at all. They respond in a big way. John Darby IV, his Linwood joiner, in stride, who reaches out and gets his Falcon on. He soars into the end zone for the 45-yard touchdown. SAU gets their PAT, and they take the lead 7-6. Then Bowie starts to show why they are indeed the favorites in the CI this year. Amir Hall calling for the scalpel. He makes a deep incision in the Falcon defense. 47-yard touchdown to Gilbert Lunsford. Later in the second, William Flowers receives the punt, and if you can't tell by the Bowie sideline blocking my shot, he took this baby to the house. Bowie State completes the second quarter hat trick with this not so minimally invasive procedure from Amir Hall. This time he finds Montez Clay 4-6, and the third TD of the half. Bowie State is up 26-8 going into halftime. Now we all know about the huge powerhouse HBCU bands that get all the press, but we had two small but mighty bands who showed that the smaller HBCU bands can still give you that work. And they both did a pretty dope rendition of Ella Mae's Boot Up. So y'all tell me, who did it better? Second half, Bowie State gets the run game popping. Brandon Abrams scores this one from 17 yards out. Bowie leads 32-7, and you think, okay, it's a wrap. But nah, it's no quit in this SAU Falcon squad. They get a touchdown and an interception, then come back with this 9-yard score from John Darby IV. They complete the 2-point conversion and are only down 10. Next, they force a fumble and get the ball back with enough time to get that miracle jumping off, but the magic runs out as they fumble the first play of the next drive, and that's all she wrote as Bowie State takes the 32-22 win back up to Prince George's County.
Winston-Salem State, Virginia Union, a long-standing rivalry that is always interesting, to say the least. The Panthers made the trip to Winston-Salem this weekend for the Football Classic weekend, and our Stephen J. Gaither was there, and hopefully, he survived the post-game handshake line.
Winston-Salem State hosting rival Virginia Union in the 3rd annual Winston-Salem Classic. But early on, it was all Virginia Union. Quarterback Darius Taylor almost makes it to pay dirt, and running back Tobias Taylor finds it to put the Panthers up 7-0. There were a lot of high school cheerleaders on the track at Bowman Gray as WSSU hosted a block party with cheer squads from around the region. More video coming up later. Back on the field, WSSU down 10-0 trying to get points before the half. Rod Tinsley Jr. needs to get to the one, missed it just by a hair, and Virginia Union goes in with a double-digit lead. Union brought the ambassadors of sound down from Richmond for the Classic for a little back and forth. And the Red Sea of Sound, they wanted all the smoke. Speaking of smoke, Tobias Taylor was eating ram chops out there for dinner. This 14-yard touchdown run gave the Panthers a 17-0 third quarter lead. The Rams offense stalled once again, but fate smiled on the home team as Ray Lewis III bobbles the punt and WSSU recovers. They don't get a touchdown, though, at least not at first. But then Kerryon Moore rumbles into the end zone for his 5th touchdown in 3 games, and the Rams cut the deficit to 17-7. Union would respond with more Taylor. He runs for a 6-yard score to give Union a 24-7 lead that looks pretty safe at the end of the 3rd quarter. The Rams would rally in the 4th, though. Tinsley back to pass hits Jonathan Allen, who hits the nasty shutter step, and WSSU is down 24-13 after a failed kick. Union would add another field goal to take a 27-13 lead, and the Rams would come back with another Tinsley to Allen strike to cut the lead to 27-19 after, yes, another missed PAT. Tying on the Rams with one last shot, and Tinsley's pass is incomplete. Virginia Union 2-1, and their first win in the CIAA under new coach Dr. Alvin Parker.
First of all, we got to play mistake-free football. It's something that we've been doing throughout the season. We had a couple extra penalties today that I think we had 2 turnovers. So we can limit that. I think we're going to be a good ball club, with teams down the road. We're just worrying about what's next week. And we have Livingstone next week at home. So that's kind of where our focus a lot. When we get to one of those teams that you name, we'll concern ourselves with them. And
BUU, hey, we going straight to what it is. Say them, oh yeah, we'll beat them. Don't meet us there, beat us there if you want to see us there, you heard?
Livingstone versus Lincoln. Lincoln with some problems early in the passing game. Near interception here by the Blue Bears. Don't eat the grass, son. This is how you do it. Look at that flick of the wrist. Miles Hayes to DeAndre Vickers for the touchdown. Lincoln switching quarterbacks from Espinoza to Yvonne Jackson. That didn't bother Raheem Coxfield at all. He still gets the run penetration and the tackle. Let's play a little bit of where did the ball go? Is it there? Is it there? No. Oh, there it is. Interception by Xavier Longerbeam. Want to talk yards after catch? Everett Ransom has plenty to spare. Is it enough for a touchdown? Well, let's talk about that. Well, yes it is. Bless your heart, Mr. Referee. Livingstone wins it 30-0. Virginia State at Johnson C. Smith. Mr. Barlow. Let's pick it up third quarter. A little pitch and catch. Cordero Cook finds Joshua Harris. And the Trojans up. Ouch. 29-0. Just keep watching. Keep watching. Not for the suspense, but for the culture. Please. Thank you. Jump ball here. Big bank, take little bank. Andre Jackson with the touchdown. Hey, woo-woos. Smith, we have some love for you as well. Gambrell with some moves here. And then Jasheen Watkins on a 2-yard scramble for Johnson C. Smith University, but it was all Virginia State on Saturday in the Queen City. They get the win 43-14. Cut the check. Bust it down. All right, those payday games, am I rapping? Done. Think of the past. Now the competition is even-steven for the most part. Conference play kicked off across the board, including Alabama State visiting Grambling to get the party started in the SWAC.
The big question in the SWAC is Grambling still the team to beat? If their game against Bama State is any indication, then they probably still the team to beat. Graham fam pitched a shutout against the Hornets. They were returning punts for touchdowns. They were rushing for touchdowns. They were getting interceptions for touchdowns. And that was just the first quarter. By the time they added a fumble recovery touchdown, it was the fourth quarter, and they were up by what would be the final margin of 34-0. No need to beat a dead Hornet, but as for now, the Tigers still running the SWAC.
When we come back, let's take a look at the rest of the scores from week 4 in Black College football. But now, a word from our friends at Protect Your Skull.
Playing through a head injury ain't being a hero, dude. If you get knocked in the head while you're still recovering from a concussion, well, let's just say it's a really sad scene. So play hard, do your thing, but keep your head safe, too. Safer and smarter play keeps you healthy on and off the field. Your quality of life matters most. Your brain is precious. You only got one, and you want to stay you and do you as long as you can. Love the game, love your brain, protect your skull.
For everything we didn't show you this week, here's the rest of the scores from Black College football. Raise your hand if your team won.
Virginia Union improves to 2-1 with a 27-19 over Winston-Salem State. Livingstone College is on a 2-game winning streak after beating Lincoln University 30-0. Virginia State, the CIAA champs, they still the champs. 42-6 over Johnson C. Smith. Bowie State 32, St. Aug 22. Another day, another 350-yard day for Amir the Surgeon Hall. Campbell 42-0 over Shaw, and Chawan did it for the CI, beating McKendree 55-45. MEAC scores. Howard opens up the season with a big win over Bethune-Cookman in the Circle City Classic. Jaquez Ezzard was putting it down, catching 8 passes for 149 yards from Kalen Newton. Morgan State, what more can you say? They beat North Carolina A&T 16-13 to end that 15-game winning streak. FAMU hosted the 1998 Rattlers, aka the Gulf Coast Rattlers, and this Azande Ray run was part of a 31-13 win for FAMU. Norfolk State University, don't sleep on NSU. NSU beat South Carolina State 17-7. Over in Durham, Duke, just bring NCCU its money. Duke wins 55-13. Over in the SIAC, Albany State holds on for a 14-7 win over Lane. Kennesaw State, them boys put it on Clark Atlanta 70-13. Central State with the dub, 24-6 over Kentucky State. Missouri M&T did not fear the shed as they beat Tuskegee 16-7. Chicago, Illinois, Soldier Field. Morehouse, 3-0 record on the line. Miles leads 21-17, and wouldn't you know it, down the stretch, Mike Sims throws up a Hail Mary, and Tramel Gooden la-da-da-da-das it, catches it, and Morehouse is 4-0 with the squeaker of a win in Chicago. Over in the SWAC, UAPB trying to rebound from that 90-6 loss, but they picked the wrong team for that. Prairie View at A&M shows no mercy and beats its SWAC rival 62-13. Gulf Coast Classic, Alabama A&M started up 21-6. No way they lose, right? Yes way they lose. Akil Glass gets in for the score, but can't come up with the 2-point conversion for AAMU, and Southern steals one in Mobile 29-27. Over in Mississippi, Alcorn State showing its Mississippi neighbors no love as they beat Mississippi Valley 56-20 and rush for 462 yards. Ouch. Grambling, the defending champs, they show they still got it going on in the SWAC, 34-0 over Alabama State. And over in Houston, just cut the check, bro. Houston 70, Texas Southern 14. After having its last 2 games canceled, Tennessee State finally gets on the field, and they come up with a big win, 41-40 over Eastern Illinois University. Big shout out to TSU for persevering. Wasn't so good for Hampton, though, as they fall 44-0 to Northern Iowa.
This week's HBCU Gameday Top Play of the Week, Odell Beckham, please hold Howard White out Jaquez Ezzard's beer. He makes this one-hand grab look too easy. HBCU Gameday Top Play of the Week, sponsored by Subject to Change for all your custom apparel and promotional product needs. Follow them on social media at S2CLLC and online at www.shopS2C.com. Proud supporters of HBCU athletics.
Band of the Week, one of the biggest things that we do here at HBCU Gameday. Shout out to the Human Jukebox. They are the reigning champions, although it's not a championship for Band of the Week. Look, that routine they did with Bobby, Janet, and Whitney, that was off the charts. Funny. Good to see that one more time. And a big shout out to our guys over at Jukebox Media who provided the video for us. Thank you to you guys. But when it comes to the Jukebox, look, one of the greatest musical treasures this country has, okay? We'll have a new Band of the Week announced on Facebook this week, so make sure you stick around for that.
Thanks, Tolly. And yeah, it's your boy, Wally Pitt. You gots to love the Human Jukebox, one of the juggernauts of the HBCU band world. But we've been catching a whole lot of smoke in our inbox about how our Band of the Week is chosen and how it's not always the best band and so on and so forth. But here at HBCU Gameday, we don't have a bunch of celebrity band directors on payroll breaking down the ins and outs of band precision. And we're not here to only show love to the great powerhouse bands of our culture. We're on the ground at HBCUs of all sizes every week, and we show love to big bands, small bands, all bands, and even y'all's band. So I called an audible this week, and I'm going to show love to one of my favorite small bands, the St. Augustine Superior Sound Marching Band. So check out a segment from the upcoming Band of the Week as I talk to SAU band director Alfred Davis about how he gets that superior sound out of that band.
Challenges is writing for that band, making sure that whatever is written for the band has the sonority that is needed so it can sound good out here. And that's the hard part, especially when you don't have the instrumentation that you really need. But these kids work hard, and I arrange everything for them, and they bring it to life, and I can't appreciate them anymore.
Dude, where did September go? We are heading into the final weekend of September, and homecoming season is almost here. That means you got to get your outfit right. Here are some of the big games that we're going to have our eyes on for this upcoming weekend. North Carolina A&T, South Carolina State, Jackson State, Alabama A&M. That'll be a good one. Grambling versus Prairie View will tell us a lot about who is really the big dog in the SWAC West this year. Winston-Salem State travels to Bowie State. North Carolina Central and FAMU Albany State and Miles. Somebody's going to leave that game very disappointed. Okay, with homecoming season coming, I know you want to wear your best. Gucci, Prada, whatever else you guys wear. I don't know. I shop at Sears. Look at this. This is Sears, Roebuck and Company. But if you want to keep it all the way real at homecoming, man, get your HBCU Game Day merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/HBCU Game Day, or just go to Amazon and type in the keyword HBCU Game Day. You will look good, I promise you. Well, that's it for the No Huddle this week. Thanks to El Capitan Wally Pitt, who puts together the big show every week, does an outstanding job, works very hard. The rest of our crew at HBCU Game Day, they are dedicated to the cause, and you're dedicated too. Shout out to you in the live comment section, the live chat on YouTube. We see you every week. So make sure you connect with us on social media, on Amazon, on Fire TV, on YouTube as well. And we'll bring you the best of HBCU sports and culture. For the entire crew, I'm Tolly Carr. Thanks for watching the No Huddle. We'll see you next week.
One time for Venom in Section R. Make it do what it do. Make some noise if you love Venom.